The internet has become flooded with so-called life hacks. These are tricks and tips that help you cut corners and save time on a daily basis. But as more and more helpful life hacks surface across the web, so do the really unnecessary ones. So let's try out some of the most pointless life hacks and review them. Phone jack cleaner. In this original video from C-Lemma, you learn how to make a budget phone port cleaner with nothing more than cotton wool, hot glue, and a thumbtack. Shoving a homemade stick into your phone made from 3 things you never want anywhere near expensive technology seems like a foolproof plan, right? Well, I tested it, and as you can see, the hot glue sticks to the cotton well, but the cotton quickly starts to shred. So as you're jamming your glorified Q-tip into vital ports and jacks, the fluff starts to come away in them. This defeats the entire purpose of its creation, not to mention that it actually jams stuff further into the ports instead of getting it out. Verdict? Pointless. Fresh OJ. Ever thought that buying a bottle of OJ was a waste of time and money? Well, C-Lemma might have just come up with another bizarre life hack for you. Instead of splitting the orange and juicing it like a normal person, why not hot glue a bottle lid onto the top of an orange, roll the orange around a bit, and pour out the liquid to produce a minuscule amount of juice? Naturally, I wanted to see just how useless this life hack really is. First, start off by emptying your perfectly good bottle of orange juice. After carving the top off the bottle, hot gluing it intensively to an orange and rolling it round, you can see there is a little bit of juice ready for pouring. Emphasis on the little. I barely got a drop out of this hack. Oranges may contain vitamin C, but I really didn't see much of a result from this endeavor. Verdict? Pointless. Master key card. A life of crime isn't easy, but another life hack from C-Lemma may have found a way to get past all those pesky locks in your life. Simply cut an unmeasured rectangle out of an old plastic card, slide it down the lock of any door, and open it with ease. It doesn't matter that the door in question doesn't actually have a lock on it, and the handle seems to work just fine. But I'm trying this anyway. To start, I cut out a rectangle from an old rewards card and used it to try and open doors in my house. On a locked door, it stood no chance because it was way too flimsy. But when I unlocked the door and tried again, I managed to break the card. However, it did open the latch. All in all, it would have made more sense to just use the handle. Verdict? Pointless. Balloon phone cover. One of the simplest life hacks ever to grace the internet is the balloon phone case. Just place your phone on a deflating balloon and voila! You have a phone case that looks as strange as it does ineffective. So let's see if this really is the hassle-free solution to the eternal "I can't find a phone case" problem. As you can see, I followed the method in the video, and it was pretty successful. If by successful you mean unable to use the camera or any charging and headphone ports you may need on a daily basis. No matter, you can just cut a hole to get to them, except then that splits the balloon. Sorry, the phone case. Well, that's this life hack deflated. Verdict? Pointless. Fake projector. Projectors are expensive pieces of equipment, so a life hack that shows you how to make one with nothing but hot glue, a shoebox, a cheap magnifying lens, and your phone should be an obvious trap. But I tried it out anyway. Using a cardboard box, I cut out a hole for a magnifying lens and hot glued it into place. Then I balanced my phone inside and, oh my god, it worked! Look at that incredible picture! Psych. Obviously, I used a real projector. The magnifying glass cardboard box projector didn't project anything. Modern projectors require a really powerful bulb, highly technical prisms, and reflective panels to get a far-throwing projection. So this hack isn't just unnecessary, it's a blatant lie. Verdict? Pointless. Flip-flop wet wipes. Why carry wet wipes around in your bag or pocket like a chump when you could put them on your feet? According to this life hack, you can just replace the top of a sandal with a packet of wipes with nothing more than hot glue. Well, this seemed ridiculous enough to try and make myself. And after removing the straps from my incredibly fetching frozen sandals, I then took 2 packets of wipes and began hot gluing them to the sides of each sandal. As you can see, standard packets hold way too many wipes to make any kind of arc for the feet. I asked someone with significantly smaller feet than me to try them on, but as you can see, they just ended up breaking. This has left me with an unwearable mess of an otherwise amazing sandal. I just can't let it go. Verdict? Pointless. Frozen pizza. Ever bought a frozen pizza knowing you have no way to cook it? Such a classic dilemma. Well, to solve a pointless problem, you need a pointless life hack. In this video, you can see that by placing several heavy blocks into a plastic tub and using them to balance a hot iron upside down, you can make a pizza-specific hot plate. Not cooking fast enough? Just use a hairdryer. So let's test this non-existent problem-solving hack out. Firstly, why do you need a whole plastic tub? You can balance your iron upside down easily by placing a heavy object on either side and putting the whole setup on a heat-resistant surface. Then you cover your iron in foil, apply the pizza, and get out your hair dryers. This is guaranteed to send your toppings flying. After about 12 minutes, when a frozen pizza in an oven would usually be done, you can expect a soggy pizza. There's just not enough heat to cook this thing through. Maybe it would work better if you applied a second iron on top, but what kind of person has 2 irons and no oven? My guess is they cooked the pizza normally and simply lied about it working. Verdict? Pointless. Handheld popcorn maker. Don't you just love popcorn? Well, according to this hack, all you need to make it are raw corn kernels and a flat iron, which is great if you have time to kill and don't mind spending a while popping each individual kernel. Or you could just do what they did here and pop one kernel before putting it into a bowl of the store-bought variety. Maybe I'm being pessimistic, so I decided to try this one out. I heated up a flat iron to its maximum temperature and placed a kernel on it. What they don't show you is how fiddly getting the kernels onto the plate is. With even the slightest pressure, these things ping off in every direction. After finally being able to get one on, I held it down and waited. And waited. And waited. 5 minutes on, I was no closer to getting my snack. What this leaves you with is an afternoon of wasted effort and a bunch of burnt kernels. Verdict? Pointless. Power drill cleaner. Has cleaning the insides of things like disposable coffee cups and jars full of water ever posed a serious problem for you? According to Viral Nova 365, you can build yourself a power drill cleaning tool specifically for this purpose. Simply burn a hole through 2 plastic bottle lids, attach a drill compatible screw, and hot glue them down along with 4 toothbrush heads to create your very own drill brush. Seems dumb enough, so let's give it a whirl. You need a drill with an open tip so that you can use any screw to make this. I didn't have one of these, but like most life hacks, I showed that with enough hot glue you can fix anything. After forming the base, I destroyed a perfectly good set of toothbrushes and fired up the glue gun again. Now to just attach the drill piece and, pretend you didn't see that. But once it's on, just look at it go. Now for the moment of truth. Can it clean my dirty mug? No. It does a good job of spreading the dirt around, but it can only reach the sides of the mug and not the bottom. I imagine this would be more effective with water and soap, but I'm not risking an electric shock for a life hack. Verdict? Pointless. Robotic cardboard arm. Have you ever needed an extra hand? Yuri Oster showed the world his genius life hack by building a robotic arm made from cardboard, straws, and string. In a seemingly simple breakdown, he shows us all you need to do is cut out a rough map of your own hand and base for a handle, cut up and hot glue some pieces of straw, then run each one through with string secured by a piece of popsicle stick. Finally, you wrap the strings around your fingers, strap in your arm, and voila! But what can it actually be used for? To find out, I made one myself. The video may make it look easy, but this took me well over 2 hours to make. The whole process was fiddly, and trying to tie knots one-handed around my fingers was almost impossible, meaning I couldn't get the strength needed to pull the cardboard fingers down. One wrong move and the entire thing started to fall apart. As for picking up items, anything lighter than a feather ripped the weakest parts of the cardboard, rendering the whole thing useless. The only use I can think of for this is germaphobes trying to get around a handshake. Verdict? Pointless. Watermelon chicken. Now it's time to try a life hack you can really take a bite out of. The infamous watermelon chicken. According to this self-labeled experimental life hack, you just get a chicken, put way too much glaze on it, then cut through 2 sides of a watermelon and scoop it out. After that, simply put the chicken in and cook for 2 hours. No oven temperature included. Even better, the reasoning for this weird abomination is never mentioned. Is it to make your chicken taste like watermelon? Let's find out. Now my first problem was the bird to melon ratio. I could not find a bird small enough nor a melon large enough to comfortably fit one inside the other. So after using enough glaze to smother this chicken, I crushed it in as best as I could and sealed it up with foil. With no temperature mentioned, I took a gamble and preheated the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit and cooked this melonstrosity for 2 hours. To my horror and joy, it came out well cooked. But the apocalyptic amount of glaze meant that I barely got a hint of watermelon, which kind of defeats the entire point of this hack. Verdict? Totally pointless. Which of these did you think was the most pointless life hack? Have you seen any other pointless life hacks out there? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.